Hello and welcome to This Naked Chat, a podcast where six friends from different walks of life come together for honest, unscripted conversations about living alcohol-free and everything that comes with it. We all met at a live event hosted by Annie Grace of This Naked Mind in March of 2024. What started as a mastermind group with the six of us and Annie turned into some really deep friendships, filled with connection, tough conversations, and a lot of laughter. And after a year of growing and learning together, we realized that these conversations might help more than just us. So here we are, no scripts, just real talk. We are incredibly grateful to Annie and This Naked Mind for helping us get this off the ground and for the impact that her work has had on each of our lives. I am Brian, and I am joined by Kori, Agnes, Judi, Jenie, and Sammie. Let's dive in. Hey, everybody.
Hey, Brian. The dog's answering.
Goodness. Yeah. Okay, so what are we?
Whose dogs are those? Oh, Kori's dogs.
They're gone. Oh, nice.
Oh, that's whose. Bella's going, what? Yeah.
Episode 27. That's what we're on now. And it says, oh, goodness. Gosh, dang it. I can never just read it. I saw this one earlier. I'm like, we haven't talked about that, but this will be really interesting. It says, am I weird now? Embracing your inner weirdo. Am I weird now? Embracing your inner weirdo. And there was a note on it. The quirky stuff we do now that we're, I guess more awake in Annie's terms, like early bedtimes, talking to trees, joining improv classes. Jesus, I don't need to go through these because we actually are doing a lot of these, but like...
You praying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry. Celebrating how not fitting in is actually freedom. Am I weird now? Interesting. I don't know who put that in. Anyone have an idea?
About am I weird now, or am I just my authentic self now?
I know. That's what I was just thinking about,
To me, if you're weird, that means you're your authentic self and being free and playful, and I mean, that's what that means to me. I find it a compliment. Call me weird all you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and weird implies turning on our comparison brain, right? Weird in relationship to what or to whom? It's a great question based on what I see around me and the rest of the general populace. It's a great question. And yeah, I think it is perhaps more challenging to find one's tribe, present company accepted, that can sit over a cup of tea and talk about, I don't know, reading Martha Beck or Thich Nhat Hanh or whatever Dan Harris said this week that struck you. It's harder to find that tribe, to have those conversations. It's more of a challenge because that, in fact, isn't what is the usual cocktail party conversation. But I think it also is a challenge for me to keep reminding myself to take a step back from that comparison brain, turning on over and over again when I feel like I am the misfit, that no one wants to have these conversations around me. I mean, that's just comparison brain talking, right? I know that intellectually, but sometimes in the moment, it's a little harder to remember.
Do you think there's a piece there that what struck me about both of what you just said is like, maybe when I was drinking, I was very much still weird, by the way, but like, I think most of my life I was trying to maybe conform with what, society or whoever else was telling me I should be doing. Right. So
100%.
I fell into those patterns. So like to Judi's point, like now this feels more authentic, although while you're kind of finding it, it is a struggle. Or it can be.
Yeah, when I hear the word weird, automatically that's like different, uncomfortable. outside. So I feel like, okay, there's judgment there. So it's self-judgment. It's, again, comparison, worrying about what somebody else is going to think. So that whole phrase, it's like, again, it's learning how to accept yourself for who you are and being okay with it and showing that side of you wherever you are. And that may be why people gravitate towards, you find, again, like you say, that you find that tribe, those people that do the same thing, then you conform to that all. But if you are around others who have different weird things or they're weird, well, is that judging them, right?
Yeah. I mean, by definition, yeah, you're weird because you're different from that group that you've been hanging around with that are, working to numb their feelings just like you were. And so, yeah, you are going to be weird amongst that, peer group that you had. And so it's like getting comfortable, like you were saying, with the fact that, yep, I'm different. And so it's going to take a little work to be okay with that, probably.
And why wouldn't you want to be different, though?
Yeah.
Well,
That's
I don't think that, I think that stems back to then, like, I don't know if we were taught that being different is good and okay. It's like everybody, like when you go to school, everyone, you're taught the same stuff. Like at home, you're taught there's so much of that going around. Like, oh, I don't want someone to judge me, so I want to control my kids and I need to make sure that they show a thing. So that's where, are you really able to be that authentic self, that weirdo? Is it okay? So if maybe your parents don't think it's okay, that's going to shut you down and you're going to think it's not okay. And then you're going to start looking at everybody else. So I think it's just changing that whole perspective, but that starts as children from back in the day.
Well, and that's where bullying comes from, right? I mean, you're so weird, and you get chastised by all the cool kids who are really in and of themselves weird.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's always this, like, I think our whole lives are about this balance. I mean, we're hardwired for connection. We're not going to get around that. We want to be in community with the people around us, but also we are driven to, be ourselves and be accepted as ourselves within that community. And so, yeah, we're always, and it's even more exaggerated, when you're a kid and you're in those strict confines of school of, being that, like, being socially accepted, but also wanting to be socially accepted just for being you and not having to conform.
I think that point, and this is just a discussion that I just had, but it's something that I think I found actually the hardest of, I don't know, this new lifestyle, I guess, of not drinking and, exercising, eating, all this stuff that I tend to do, is that I did leave a big piece of what I thought was my community. We've talked about this before, right? And finding a new one as you're a little older seems to be a little bit harder, and I think this is a big topic right now out in the world of, like, adult friendships, and especially since, more and more stuff has moved online, that real connection that I think you're right, Kori, like, we are wired to need it. It's like one of the pillars of health is social connection, and finding that as an adult, I think that's what it listed, like, going to improv classes, I think, churches and all those sort of things that you can find that in. It's an active process, though, right? Like, I mean,
you have to work at it.
Yeah, like, and yeah, Kori, you've mentioned some things with yours of trying to build that out. But I mean, it is challenging, but it's important. Like, maybe the most important is to find these kind of connections out there in the world. And I yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. finish what you
No,
were?
I think I was done.
Okay, sorry. I also, I mean, for my own self, I think it's important to remember, because this very struggle just reared its head a couple days ago, that going alcohol free and changing that group of people, or leaving that group of people behind, doesn't exactly open the gates of, oh, here are your people.
Yeah,
Ta-da!
exactly.
The alcohol is what was in the way. When in reality, more true for me is the people I've let go of weren't necessarily fellow drinkers. They were just people that made me not feel like me. And that was and is the majority of people I've let go of. And, even in my very small town, I have let go of a few people that didn't make me feel like me. And I'm still feeling awkward when I'm in a situation around them, even though I know I made the right choice for me. And it wasn't, acrimonious or anything. It was just a gentle distancing. But I'm still feeling some awkwardness over that. And then I recognize that it resurges all of that wistful, oh, but I want to be in the cool group. I mean, the cool group doesn't invite me to trivia anymore, that kind of. And it's junior high bullshit. It's junior high brain conditioning, right? But I think it's important, for at least for me, to share that, yes, letting go of the alcohol related friends that I needed to let go of was important. But the greater reality was I needed to let go of them because I wasn't my best self when I was with them.
It's like we all want a place to be. Like, for me, those, I went to a few bars regularly, and they were places where I felt like accepted and welcome. And that's kind of what you alluded to again. Like, you still want to feel included, welcome, understood. And that's kind of the group of people now that you're trying to find.
Norm.
Yeah, I know. I went back in there this weekend. It felt the same, which is interesting. I was like, I wasn't drinking, but I was there, and it was like, oh yeah, everyone still knows me. Weird. It's been 5 years.
This episode is sponsored by This Naked Mind, a revolutionary approach to changing your relationship with alcohol. When it comes to your drinking, you don't have to hit rock bottom to want something different, and you don't have to do it alone. This Naked Mind blends neuroscience, psychology, and self-compassion to help you stop relying on willpower and start creating real, lasting change. No shame, no labels, and no rules. Whether you want to take a break, drink less, or stop drinking for good, This Naked Mind has a program that meets you where you are, with world-class coaching and a compassionate, judgment-free community to support you every step of the way. Learn more about This Naked Mind at thisnakedmind.com.
What have you found? So someone brought this up. I think it was Agnes there, of like in the groups of people, we do tend to need some commonality, maybe, to initiate into a group, or like to find a group. I don't know. I noticed this, like, when my gym closed and I lost that big group, I tried to find it in other gyms, right? And it was never going to be the same, but it was at least, something. And I wonder if that's kind of if anyone can talk to more of that.
I mean, what's funny is I find that even if, like, the gym's a great example, because, I go to a couple of different gyms and I don't really know those people, but there is something about, like, seeing the same people, you know what I mean? Like, just even familiar faces that kind of, I don't know, there's something that feels good about that. Even though I don't really, I don't know them. And I think so there's something to just sometimes being in the presence of people, even if you're not having, the kind of conversations that you want to have, or that you're involved in each other's lives. But yeah, and there's like this spectrum, I think, right, where sometimes you can have connection over playing a sport or being or reading the same book or something, and then all the way to like actively seeking out people that share your same values or that are curious about the same things, and that you can have those kinds of conversations. It seems like to me, I don't know that there's probably evidence for this. I don't know if I'm not familiar with the research, but at least in my experience, it seems like having that spectrum is what's important.
Yeah, I would totally agree. So I have all the same friends. So I haven't actually lost any of my drinking friends. But what I've noticed is a lot of them aren't drinking as much as I thought they were, because I think I was more focused on myself. So I was more attaching myself, okay, what am I drinking, and not really paying and just making excuses as to why I'm having those drinks, because everybody else is drinking too. So it's interesting, and it's finding that place. So the uncomfort is so high, but I was able to push through it for myself, and get to that place where it's like, okay, I know exactly what I want and how I want to be and who I want to be. And I know exactly whatever it is that I need at that time. I know which friends to go to, which group of friends to go to get those things. And I think that that's what is so important. And I actually feel like that's where you could really build on the relationships and the connections. But for myself, the more vulnerable I was and I am, the greater the connections are that I'm building with people. And some are distancing, which is okay, and others are stronger than they were when I was drinking. So, but it really starts with me. Everything starts with me as to what's my expectation, what is my experience, and there's no timeline for that. And that's the other part. It's like exploring relationships and friendships and all of that takes time. So even when you're around somebody who's doing something completely different and they're weird, well, they may be thinking exactly the same thing about me at this point. They may be just as uncomfortable as I was. And that's what I can see now, whereas I couldn't see that before. So that's where it eases my uncomfort, and it doesn't, because now I'm like, oh, they're probably uncomfortable too. Let me break the ice here. And that's by saying whatever it is that needs to be. So it's a total perspective shift, but it all stems from me.
You're so right, and you said something so important, that like it's having the understanding awareness of like what you need, what you want out of these relationships, right? I mean, sometimes you like you feel better around certain people than others, and it's all about like understanding why that is, if you want to try to cultivate other more relationships like that. And so yeah, having that self-awareness, Agnes, you totally hit it on the head of like what what am I looking for out of this? Am I looking for the person who lets me be my weird self, right? Or are you just looking for somebody to like commiserate over whatever, politics or the school board or whatever? Like what do I want out of this group or this relationship or whatever? Yeah.
Well, and it also can be, what do I want to give? Right. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not all about gimme, gimme, gimme. It's not all about receive. I need this. I need that. It's also about, I suppose what you want to give is also a need. I need to give this out to fulfill whatever within myself. But I think we're multifaceted people, And because of that, we have multifaceted array of ways we can express ourselves and receive other people. Personally, the weirder the better, I think, but carry on.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like Brian.
Yeah.
I'm teasing you.
No.
We all know Brian's weird. It's okay.
Yeah.
In a very good way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
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 Well, that
I
goes
think-
like, again, there's the other question. It's like, is it someone being weird or us being weird, or is it our comfort level? Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you got to question that as well, because somebody being weird or ourselves, that is amazing. I like Judi, like you said, the more, the better, like all of it. Because it gives us an opportunity to see something different instead of sticking to the same.
Well, and it's interesting. It's
Yes.
just plain interesting.
Yes. Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I get bored quick with plastic people.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the weird things that we do?
I know. That's what I was trying to think of.
I mean, I
think I did much weirder things when I was drinking.
No,
Yeah, but again,
I think
that's a
by
judgment.
most people's definition, they would think that what we're doing now is weird. Like,
That's
oh,
true.
you want to talk about your feelings? You want to talk about, growth? You want to talk like that's
Interesting.
weird.
You want to not drink? You want to be alcohol free? That's
Right.
so weird. Why would you want to do that?
That's a good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. I think most people are not into this. Let me just say.
I know lots of folks that would say, why? Why would you
Yes.
not want to have a glass of wine? That's just weird.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot the biggest one. That's it.
Mhm.
It was
That's
fun-
what we're talking about, right? Alcohol-free lifestyle. That's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, you're right.
That is weird. In today's
It's funny.
society.
I mean, I played pickleball this morning, and the Chiefs the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm in Kansas City. Had a bad loss last night, and most of them were hungover.
Uh-huh.
You know, because they had got like mad at this game and drank, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's just.
That's weird.
I know, that's what I was. I'm like, that seems weird to me, but they're like, how are
Why
you
would
just
you
so
beat
peppy?
yourself
I know.
up?
I'm like,
Why?
know.
I'm going to drink this bottle of poison because my team that I like.
I know. I was like,
Didn't win.
So I see it from the other side now. I'm like, well, to me that seems
Totally.
weird, but whatever.
That whole idea, like, this is a tangent, but like, I think about this a lot. The idea of like wasting another day just is intolerable to me, Like, why would I ever engage in this ever again? There's only a finite number of days. I'm not going to freaking waste any more of them feeling like shit.
I know.
A self-inflicted wound.
yeah, but in that moment, it was like, how do I get through that day without it?
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah. Yep.
So-
Totally. Yeah. How do it makes me feel like crap that this team that I was so invested in, lost. I have all these emotions. I don't know what to do with them. So the solution is not feel them.
Right.
Commiserate with my friends.
But isn't it
Not
amazing to think about that you would have a source such as that? You don't know these people. You're just a fan.
Yeah.
Over a game. I don't understand the sport mind like that. That to me is weird.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that's an interesting piece, because I found myself, and I don't know if it's because I quit drinking or what, but that less and less attached to outcomes like that. Like I used to be like that a little bit, and somewhere along the line, it's kind of eased up to where that hasn't ruined my day. But yeah, that would be an interesting topic.
I mean, like Brian, if you were playing on a team and I was rooting for you individually and things happen,
Yeah.
well, then I would feel bad because you felt bad that you lost.
Right.
But I wouldn't go out and drink about it.
Yeah.
I'd drink watching you probably, but I wouldn't go out and drink about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Because that's just weird.
What else is there? I mean,
This whole conversation is weird.
I know it is.
Don't you think, Jenny? It's just weird.
Anything else we do that's weird?
Everything we do is weird.
I know.
I like it.
All right. Well, we can wrap. Anyone have any mic drop moments you want to throw in there before we do?
Love your weird self.
Yeah, I agree.
It's all good.
There it is. That's the t-shirt from
Yep.
today's episode.
Well, and Judi brings this up a lot. Like, I think of like, this is all loving yourself type work, right? Like getting to know yourself better. This seems like that is just coming to terms with who you are.
And
Bones
letting
and
the
all.
world see that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But the more comfortable you are with self, the more comfortable others will be around you.
Yeah.
That's
Fair.
weird.
You're weird. All right. Good job. I'm going to stop this.
Adios.
Bye, everyone.
See you.
Hey, that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. If something we said resonated, made you laugh, or made you think, we'd love it if you share it with someone who might need it too. And if you're curious about going alcohol-free or just ready to feel more connected to yourself, check out This Naked Mind. Annie's work brought us all together, and we're so grateful for the impact it's had. On that note, a big thank you to Annie Grace and This Naked Mind for making this podcast possible. We'll see you next time on This Naked Chat.